kidding me?
Here's a shot that I play, they score!
But now switches hands, he
Score! Oh my goodness!
After an exciting overtime win last week, the Georgia Swarm switched to payback mode when one of the best teams in the league come calling. It's Georgia versus Halifax. It's the NLL on ESPN and Peachtree TV, and it's next. Tonight, the Gas South Arena in the capital of the South plays host to a critical matchup in the East when the Halifax Thunderbirds fly south to take on the Georgia Swarm. And hello again, everybody. Thanks for joining us right back here on Peachtree TV and ESPN+. Back alongside my broadcast partner, Scott Ratliff, here with the play-by-play story this evening. I'm Chris Mooneyham, a big one in the East tonight.
Yeah, a really important game in the East. We look at Halifax sitting at 8-2, coming off a loss last night to Albany, while Georgia sitting down in 6th place in the standings at 5-6, battling for that final playoff spot.
Not the first time these two teams have met so far this year.
Last time these two teams met, we saw an offensive outpouring from the Halifax Thunderbirds, led by Austin Shanks with a 6-goal, 1-assist performance, and Clark Peterson with the opposite, 1 goal and 6 assists. For the Swarm, they had some offensive runs of their own. Lyle Thompson, Shane Jackson, Brendan Baumberry, all putting in 2 goals of their own. But the Halifax offense proved too much. We saw Stephen Keogh scoring highlight goals. We saw Cody Jameson scoring highlight goals. And ultimately, we saw Halifax come away with a 15-10 victory.
Yeah, in many ways, that was a carbon copy, that ball game, of what Halifax has done to their opponents all throughout the season. One of the finest offenses in our league, of course. So let's take a look at the final stats from that ball game not so long ago.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, the 15-10 score for Halifax, 50 shots on cage, which is really generated by Jake Withers in those 22 faceoff wins.
Yeah, absolutely right. We spoke to the head man, Ed Cuomo, about that ball game just a little bit earlier. Here's what he had to say.
Offensively, we had great looks, and Warren Hill played really well. So we've talked about a better shooting plan this week to really work on trying to get to him, because we did have some great looks, and Shane Jackson had 4 or 5 opportunities right off the bench, and he's usually money on those, and only got 1 of them. So for us, it's really big to play good 5-5. In that game, our 5-5 definitely let us down.
Scotty, you'd have a tough time knowing they lost the ball game. He was positive.
Yeah, keys for the Swarm tonight: tighten up defensively, tighten up the goaltending, and capitalize on the opportunities in the 5-on-5 sets.
So coming up next, the opening face-off and the play-by-play story. It's the Thunderbirds and the Swarm. ESPN+, Peachtree TV, and it's next.
What is belief? Nathan McKinnon? At 14, he wasn't wishing he'd make it to the NHL. He believed that he would. So while other kids were playing video games, he was putting in the work to make his dream come true. Guaranteed Rate believes in your dreams. That's why we treat everyone like we treat our own family and work extra hard to get you the lowest low rate possible. Because if you believe, you will.
Let's show the world what it means to be a fan. The world's largest collection of fan gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
There's no better feeling than a win, except a BetMGM win. Goodbye. Woo! That one hurt good. You feel that? Yeah! Now you're winning with the king of sportsbooks. Come on.
The NLL on ESPN is brought to you by Guaranteed Rate. If you believe it, you can do it. Guaranteed Rate. Believe you will. By NLLshop.com, a Fanatics experience. Officially licensed everything. And by BetMGM, the official sports book of the National Lacrosse League. Get the BetMGM app today. Now you're winning with the king of sportsbooks. Please bet responsibly. And so welcome back inside of the building affectionately known as Sting City in Duluth, Georgia, the northeast corridor of the sprawling Atlanta Metroplex. Georgia at 5-6 overall. Thunderbirds at 8-2 and led by that gentleman between the pipes. Our guaranteed rate goalies of the evening, Warren Hill.
Yeah, Warren Hill, one of the best in the league this season. You see him there, 8.94 goals allowed and saving an 81% clip.
And then here's the pull-in wall. Mike Poulin, an even record, 1 win away from number 100 in his career. Now down on the floor, Tabitha Turner-Wilkins.
Chad, Halifax won the first matchup between the two teams a few weeks ago on their home turf. How can the Swarm capitalize on your own home field advantage and come out on top in this one?
Yeah, you know what? We're going to rally behind the fans tonight. The fans have been doing a great job this year, coming out, showing up, being loud for us, and I think we're going to see a lot different of a game than last game.
Thanks, Chad. Good luck tonight, guys.
Tabitha down on the floor with Chad Tutton. There's Micah Kersey. Dude who knows a little something about winning.
Yeah.
One of the finest in our league.
A Hall of Famer.
He the head man for the Thunderbirds. Of course, on the other side, his counterpart, Ed Como. One of very few head coaches in this league's history to win over 100 games. 60 plus while leading the Swarm franchise.
Yeah, every one of these Swarm games gets more important. Having that calm, cool, and collected presence of Coach Como really helps, especially with the young players.
We start on the X, and of course this has been one of the big storylines so far for the Thunderbirds this year. Our face-off brought to you by MGM. You see our money lines there, the over-unders. Swarm have this opening possession. Long pass caught by Cole. Plus territory. Great look. One in on Hill, and they'll say it trickled in. How about that start for the Swarm? Just 26 seconds in.
And Chris, you could not have asked for a better start if you're the Georgia Swarm. We mentioned the face-off struggles last time against Jake Withers. Withers wins the face-offs, but the Swarm are able to scrap, turn it into a ground ball. It leads to a transition opportunity, and you see a perfectly executed 2-on-1. Looks like that's Cole feeding Bomberry, who catches it, face dodges the check, and finishes it 5-hole on Hill.
For Brendan Bomberry, that'll be his 18th of the campaign. It'll push him up to 39 points on the season. The 6', 185-pounder has put Georgia on the board, 1-0 here.
And here you go, Chris. We've seen now 2 in a row where Withers has won the clamp, controlled the face-off, and Georgia's been able to scrap the ball back. I think looking at the last time these two teams played, Halifax getting to 50 shots, dominating the possession battle, Georgia's shown that they've made adjustments and might be able to take over that aspect of the game.
Half court, half floor. Georgia offense. Jordan Hall. Back up to the top. This is McIntosh, the captain. Jordan has it poked loose. Picked up by Lyle Thompson. He'll go north of the white line, put a quick shot on Hill with the shot clock expiring. Warren will make the save, and Halifax will have the possession. Warren Hill, you saw his numbers a moment ago, 7-2. He'll pass 600 minutes between the pipes during this affair. 7-2 record. Allowed 83 goals against, just an 894 goals against average. Shane Jackson winds and fires. Henrik has it. Jeff. Walker. Ethan, who was very good here last week against Rochester in the overtime victory for his club.
We see the up and down pace early. If I'm the Georgia Swarm, I don't mind that. We heard Coach talk about the 5-on-5 sets. Georgia thrives in transition, especially offensively. They don't mind getting up and down the floor.
Also very important for Mike Poulin to get off to a good start here tonight.
Yeah, we discussed it. Poulin struggled last time out against Halifax, but Poulin's an all-time great. You know, you don't worry about him mentally. He's going to be locked in. Need a strong performance to beat one of the best teams in the league.
Oh, great look. Quick fire right down on top of Hill. He'll make the save. Out of his midsection, I beg your pardon. 12:30 mark of this first quarter. 1-0 game. Georgia's out in front. Going to have ourselves the first penalty of the affair.
Halifax penalty, 2 minutes.
All right. Is that Jake Withers headed to the box?
Yeah, they're going to get Jake Withers for holding off ball on defense there. So a power play opportunity for Georgia, and this is an area, one of the few areas where we have seen Halifax struggle.
Well, it's absolutely wild. Some of the special teams, you know, I told you during the week when we were talking, I think that's the key to the ball game here. Hill has made the save. It's 2 minutes for Withers. I think it's the key to the ball game. A lot of people be surprised to find out. Uh-oh, turnover. Georgia has it, and of course they have the numbers. So far this year on the penalty kill, just 46% for Halifax. If you're wondering, that's next to last in the league.
And you mentioned it, Chris, that's hard to believe with the way Hill has played this season, and with defenders like Graham Hossack, number 4 in white, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year in this league, one of the absolute best in the world.
Oh, lost possession. Hill's going to trap it, and he's got it behind the pipes.
And I'm going to stay on Hossack for a minute. I can't overstate how good this guy is. Watch him tonight, number 4 in white. He'll be matched up with Lyle Thompson. Held him to just 4 points in Halifax. He is one of the strongest, toughest, meanest, and best players in this league. Meanest on the field. Off the field, he's actually a pleasure to be around. Very nice guy.
Over-under on this game, 22.5 in case you missed the graphic a few moments ago. 22.5 goals for the affair. The over-under MGM bet number. Plus 160 for Georgia, minus 200 for Halifax. No big surprise there. They're having to keep the... Yes, indeed. They're having to keep the clock on the field right now, on the floor right now in some ways. We're having some technical difficulties inside the building, which is also rolling over to our broadcast, by the way. They've got 2 minutes locked on the scoreboard up there for Withers. Of course, Halifax was making it known to the officials, hey, wait a minute now, the clock is stopped. But the officials then let everyone know they are keeping the time on the floor. Sean Evans, the new Thunderbird player. We saw Sean here just last week for Rochester. Tell everybody about it.
Yeah, Sean Evans traded from Rochester to Halifax midweek. As you mentioned, we watched him here last week. He should be comfortable in this building, and the Swarm defense should be comfortable with him. But of note, Stephen Keogh out tonight on the COVID list, so to have Sean Evans filling in for Keogh on that right side, that's a nice pickup for this Halifax team.
No Keogh tonight. Reese Dutch is on injured reserve. Luke Magnan is on injured reserve. Switch comes. Withers empties out of the box, and we're back to even strength. At 10 minutes, nearly the 10-minute mark. First quarter, great look, great give and go, and the equalizer. Great move. Great extra pass, great vision, and then the finish. We're even at 1.
Yeah, as you mentioned, just a really nice pick and roll executed by Halifax. That's Clark Peterson. You know, he's no stranger to catching it and finishing across the front of the cage. It's not bad defense. You see the Swarm defender has him tied up, has his hands on him. Peterson fakes near side, and he's able to squeak that around Poulin. So last time these two teams met, Peterson with 1 goal and 6 assists. And now tonight we see him starting out in the goal column, which is where he's typically spotted on the goal side of things, not on the assist side of things.
He's got 14 tallies on the year, 28 assists, so 42 points for the campaign now for Peterson. 1-1, and now we go sliding past the 10-minute mark of this opening quarter. Halifax, as we mentioned, 8-2 overall. Just had a 5-game winning streak snapped, averaging 11 goals per game offensively. 2-1 on the road this year. Offensively for the Thunderbirds, their two best quarters easily, the first and the third, where combined, they've outscored their opponents by 17 goals. Looks like we are going to have a stoppage of play on the floor, and so we'll take the break with them. 1-1, 9:46 mark first quarter. Peachtree TV and ESPN+. Back inside Sting City, 1-1 at 9:46 of the first quarter. Thanks for joining us. Back alongside Scott Ratliff, I'm Chris Mooneyham, ESPN Plus and Peachtree TV here in the local Atlanta area. Gave you the bio on Halifax a moment ago, plus the offensive bio as they had the rock. Now let's switch our attention to the Swarm. 5-6 overall record. Number 4 in the league in goals scored per ball game. Been good on the power play this year. We'll talk about that a little bit later, because I'm sure they'll have another opportunity. Ethan Walker works around, gives off to McIntosh on left. Yes, he'll give off to Thompson, who goes streaking in on top of Hill, who makes the save. Second opportunity, Brian Cole, light the lamp.
And this is picture-perfect offense from the Georgia Swarm. We hear Coach Como talk about it. When they're at their best, the ball's flipping sides of the field back and forth. They execute a two-man game. A great look from Thompson creates the rebound opportunity. And Brian Cole, he knows what to do with that. One of the best in the league at, well, everything. Picking up ground balls, playing defense, and there you see it, cleaning up the trash and finishing with his left hand on the offensive side of the floor as well.
Last time these two teams got together, we talked about it in our opener. One thing we did not mention, the Swarm led that ball game 3-2. They may have even led 2-0. Now that I'm doing off the top of my head, I don't have that part in my notes, but I believe it was 2-0. In that ball game, they lost 15-10 up in Nova Scotia on February 19th. Swarm led 3-2, were outscored 13-7 the rest of the way. As Scotty mentioned, Austin Shanks had the sock trick, go along with an assist as well. Clark Peterson had the flip scorecard, 1-6. Cody Jamieson, LeBlanc, both had 6 points. Warren Hill saved 35 shots that night. Meanwhile, Jordan McIntosh finished with as the Swarm's leader in goals, or in points, I beg your pardon, with a goal and an assist. By the way, I want to remind all of you viewers now, we're having some technical difficulties in the building. It's rolling over into our broadcast as well. We got a 2-1 affair here. Georgia is out in front at 8:40 of the first quarter. We'll get it shaken out.
Yeah,
just be like calling the game on the radio, Scotty.
That's exactly right. As Graham Hossick comes down with the transition opportunity for Halifax. Just something to note, both teams really physical to start the night here. I've already seen some extracurriculars. We have not seen a fight in this building yet this season, Chris. I'm not predicting it, but it does look physical. It does look chippy early.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Poulin makes a save in the 5-hole. That one tapped away. And in the end, the loose ball is picked up by the Swarm.
Georgia with numbers.
Thompson off the pipe. Is this Gillies who's picked it up and pushing? Halifax nonetheless. Whomever it was, shaking up on the play. Oh, that's Tarafinko, who's hobbling back, by the way, to the Halifax bench.
Yeah, Ryan Tarafinko, really talented transition, rookie out of Ohio State, American.
Wind and fire by Poulin. That shot coming from Chris Bushi. Bushi with 16 tallies on the year. How good has he been?
And we saw in that last Swarm possession, in transition, Lyle Thompson with a fantastic look on the cage. We heard Coach Como talk about those early opportunities with guys coming right out of the box. When the Swarm are going this way, it's going to be Lyle Thompson. When the Swarm are going the other way, it's going to be Shane Jackson getting those early looks.
It's a great pass and a great idea by Shane Jackson. Ethan Walker had it knocked out of his cradle there, and Halifax has it back. Evans gives off to Jackson. Jackson worked it back, or he's trying to work it back into the middle. Tries to find a teammate at point-blank range right across the middle. That would have been Austin Shanks. 5 on the shot clock. Evans goes underhand, down on Poulin, who makes the save.
Really like what I'm seeing from the Georgia defense early. Physical on ball, and something they've struggled with this year, which is supporting from the backside. Their help defense, leaving the two-man games on an island. So far tonight, we've seen the help, and really not a whole lot of good looks from Halifax in the offensive end.
Mike Poulin already with 5 saves on 6 shots faced. 6-minute mark coming up first quarter. 2-1, Swarm out in front on the Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds lost last night to Albany at home. It's the type of game that Albany really wanted to play, wasn't it, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, at this point in the season, when you have a team at 8-1 or 8-2, and you're playing teams that are battling for playoff berths, there's going to be a little extra juice for those teams that need to win more. So that's going to be the challenge for Halifax as Peterson gets to a dangerous area, is can they match Georgia's energy? Knowing they're in second place, knowing they have some breathing room in the standings, can they match the desperation of a Georgia team who's, fighting for that final seed?
That was an 8-7 final last night in Nova Scotia. Albany led 2-0 early. Then the Birds rattled off 5 of the next 6 tallies, took a 5-3 lead. Less than a minute left in the first half. However, Albany, maybe the key moment of the ball game, they scored, was it with a second left, I think, in the first half. Cole going to wind up and fire one down on Hill, who makes the save. That made it 5-4 going into the half. Kind of lit a fire underneath the Firewolves, if you will. Forgive the pun, that was unintentional. Albany would outscore Halifax in the second half 4-3 and held on to win. There's that money line, 22.5. Halifax obviously a favorite in this one. Interesting numbers being on the road. Evans scores 2-2 at 4:46 of the first quarter. Sean Evans, not his first tally this week in Metro Atlanta.
That's right, Chris. Number 15, Sean Evans, picking up right where he left off. Really just an isolation dodge for him in his favorite area. This season, he's been more of a feeder, but it's a physical dodge. He's able to create separation from his defender, and then he just steps in and buries that low and away on Poulin.
His totals for the year, that'll be his 10th goal. Push him up to 51 points on the year. He's had a tremendous season on the power play. Already has 10 power play assists. Still loose in the front area for the Thunderbirds. They're going to have possession off the face-off, having just leveled us at 2-2, closing in on the 4.5-minute mark of this first quarter. Shanks has a clear path. Defense kind of cleared out there, and Shanks found himself all alone.
It looked like a little bit of miscommunication from the Swarm defense, but even on that last Sean Evans goal, something that I'm noticing earlier is none of these Halifax shots are coming from the middle of the field. They're giving up those lower angle shots, which is going to translate into more Poulin saves. That's when their defense has been at the best this year, when they're keeping guys out of the middle of the field.
Oh, great look.
Great opportunity there from Bomberry. He's not able to capitalize, but Swarm gets to reset, and now the ball's with number 4.
Thompson spin move, goes in, can't convert. Pipes come off the Moors. They'll get a reset here in just a moment. Halifax has the loose ball.
Chris, every time Thompson goes airborne, you can feel the gasp in this building, can't you? So used
Literally.
to seeing him score highlight reel goals over and over. He had an amazing one last week. Just a matter of time before he breaks through here.
Evans works into the middle, draws the defense end, finds a teammate. Check that. I don't believe that might have been Jamison that drew himself the assist. Cody Jamison, no big surprise there. Also, no big surprise, he's able to hit Eric Fennell.
Yeah, and Eric Fennell, this is an almost identical goal to the one Peterson scored, only on the opposite side of the field. Eric Fennell playing a two-man game with Jamison. He gets a pick, he rolls, Jamison finds him, and he's able to bury it. So when we're looking at that, I was talking about the help defense of the Swarm. First, you saw Peterson coming in, no help defense coming from the left side. Now you see Fennell coming in from the left side, no help defense from the right side. In the indoor game, you cannot play those 2-on-2. You need a third defender from the backside to move over and provide support in the pick and roll with the physicality that they allow the offenses to play with.
24th assist of the year for Jamison. And for Fennell, it'll be his 9th goal of the campaign. Halifax now with a 3-2 lead as we go skirting past the 3-minute mark of this first quarter. Oh, thought about the windup, did Shanks. Peterson tries to go underneath, gets a defender down. Got some help from Chris Bushi.
And here's Joel White, dangerous in this sort of situation in transition.
Joel trying to take it himself on Hill, who's able to make the save. Whistle on the play. A little too much contact. And it looks like Georgia going to take one of the best power plays in the league and have a chance to use it here.
Halifax penalty number 25, 2 minutes, checking from behind.
So we'll see what Georgia can do with it when we come back. They trail by 1 on Peachtree TV. A 3-2 ball game here in Metro Atlanta. Let's head back down to Tabitha Turner-Wilkins.
Coach, one of the keys coming into tonight was playing better in the 5-on-5. How's your team looking as a unit so far?
Well, I think offensively we've had some great looks, and goalies made some good saves. Defensively, we battled hard. They're a good 5-on-5 team. We got our work cut out for us, but we're battling, and we got to stay in this game.
Thanks, Coach. Guys.
Georgia on the power play out of the break, 43% so far this year. They've been good. That number's been slipping a little bit. At one point, they were up to number 3 in the league. Right now, number 7. Well, ask and you shall receive. Perhaps that percentage will increase a little bit for Georgia. The goal delivered from Brennan Bomberry, his 2nd of the evening.
Yeah, and really nothing complicated from the Georgia power play. They get some ball movement, they get some people movement, but that's just Bomberry, the former Syracuse Orange star, stepping in with that overhand release. And that shot's all about deception. You see the subtle lean from Bomberry towards that left side of the cage, and then the overhand right-handed shot goes back to that far side pipe. He gets Hill leaning, he buries it in the high corner. 3-3 ball game.
And by the way, he has had a really tremendous season on the power play this year. That's going to be his 8th extra man tally of the year.
Bomberry, a great outside shooter, and his first season playing in his natural position of righty forward. He played transition early in his career. This year, taking over for Randy Stats on the offensive side, and he's got better and better as the season's gone.
Cole has it stripped out. Thunderbirds have it back. Final 2 minutes from Duluth. This first frame. A lot of spacing. Saved by Poulin.
And that's great help defense there from Ethan Riggs. That's what I've been calling for. Halifax drives across the middle, and you see defenders from the opposite side of the field getting involved with physical play. The big fella, Ethan Riggs, delivers the hit.
Already had Sean Evans get to double figures for the year on goal tally. Kyle Jackson was trying to do the same there. Drive in, right on Hill. Oh, an acrobatic highlight reel type score. Brendan Bomberry. The hat trick for Bomberry.
There you go, Chris. Brendan Bomberry's heating up, doing his best Lyle Thompson impersonation, coming underneath on that right side. He gets to the middle, and then he beats Hill on the low-to-low finish. And if you're a Georgia Swarm fan, you have to feel good. 3 goals already for Brendan Bomberry. We've seen it all season. Shane Jackson consistently delivering. Lyle Thompson consistently delivering. Who is that next option? It's been guys like Ethan Walker, and tonight it's Brendan Bomberry fueling an early run for the Swarm.
2 assists for Shane Jackson, to your point. No points yet for Lyle Thompson. And already Georgia with a 4-3 lead. The law of averages will come back around. Steal. Push. Connor Kirst. Goal!
I cannot say enough good things about this goal from Connor Kirst. The American, with what I believe is his first professional NLL goal, or his second goal, I'm sorry, out of Rutgers University. He played attack in field lacrosse in college. He plays offense professionally in field lacrosse, playing defense in transition here for the Georgia Swarm. But what I have to highlight about that goal, he makes a great defensive play with the interception, but the touch on that finish. Kirst is known as a heavy-handed shooter. He takes a big windup, and then he almost throws a changeup into the near side corner on Hill. He looks like a seasoned Canadian veteran with the silky hands on that finish. What a goal by Kirst, and I would expect that to be an energy generator for the Swarm.
Well, Coach, since you brought it up, why don't you describe that for all the younger lacrosse players out there? When you got the big windup like that, keep in mind that Kirst is 6'3", 230. A lot of that's in the wrist, correct? Walk us through it. When you're a big guy like that, you got the big lumbering wind-up and the power shot, that you take something off of it. How do you do it?
Absolutely, and in this indoor game, wow, we have another highlight goal. This time it's Halifax.
We'll get back to it, no doubt about it. Eric Fennell, believe that's going to be his second of this. High-scoring first quarter, his 9th of the year.
And you want to talk about great hands. Fennell makes a one-handed catch on what looks like a 30-yard feed into the inside. Fennell has one of his hands tied up by the defenders, catches it one-handed, able to get his second hand back on the stick, and finishes near side on Poulin.
Before we get back to your description on the Kirst goal, let me correct something. For Fennell, that's his second tonight, and that'll put him on double figures for goals scored on the year.
Yeah, and we're right back into a high-scoring shootout. You know, last time we saw these two teams play, it was a 6-4 score at the end of one. Here we go tonight with the last 30 seconds, and we're sitting at 5-4.
Final 20 of this first quarter. Shot clock off.
Important stop if you're the Georgia defense here. Ending quarters, big momentum, going into the second.
Evans running point. He's got it back. Goes behind the back. Shot on top of Poulin. The save is made. And that will bring us to the end of the opening frame. An exciting one to be sure. 5-4, Georgia and Halifax at the end of one here in Sting City. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on ESPN Plus and Peachtree TV. Fans, don't forget there's still time for you to play for a chance to win $10,000 weekly with NLL Pick'em. Register and play for free at NLLPick'em.com. So an exciting first quarter, 5-4, Georgia out in front of Halifax. Your first break thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it really mirrors what we saw in Halifax, only Georgia on top after one. You know, fast-paced action, highlight goals from both teams. I think the big story of the first quarter is the hat trick from Brendan Bomberry.
"24 shots, 12 apiece in the opening frame. Picked off. Breakaway. And the shot off to the right by Brad Gillies. Shot off to the right of Poulin.
And so this is the quarter, Chris, with the Swarm going from the right to the left on your screen. I call it the Shane Jackson quarter. As the Swarm push transition, look for Jackson, the first one coming out of that box, to get some opportunities for some easy transition goals.
That's the wildest thing. He has been so successful on that dead end over there, the open end. Jamison in the middle, comes right on top of Poulin with a left-handed overhand shot, and we're at 5-5.
And that's Cody Jamison doing what Cody Jamison does. You can see he comes off the pick there, a good pick set by Fennell. And I talked about it getting to the middle of the field, right? And really subtle. It's a twister finish there from Jamison. You see his hands come over the top. That suggests to Poulin that the shot's going to come back near side. He sticks it far side. He's been one of the best in the business for a long time at finishing from that spot on the floor.
Jamison's 9th goal of the year to go along with, well, now 25 assists, because he's sitting on a goal and 2 assists here this evening. So 5-5, less than a minute into the second quarter. We're off to a roaring start. Jackson down here on the near side. Right side of the floor. Kyle works back into the middle. He'll put a shot on Poulin. That one got past Mike.
Yeah, saved by the pipe there, and that's another shot from the middle of the floor. Good opportunity turned away by Poulin and his best friend, the red pipe.
Oh man, another one. Holy smokes. Is it gonna be that kind of night? Breakaway, Jackson, what we were just talking about. The prophet, Scott Ratliff.
Yep, we said it, Chris. We've been seeing it all season long. When Shane Jackson can go out that front door and get fast break opportunities, he's the best in the world at finishing these. He fakes near side. He finishes far side high, just tucking it into that corner past Hill. And if you're a Swarm fan, you have to feel good about the way they're keeping pace with this extremely dangerous Halifax offense. retaking the lead, 6-5.
Now, we were talking about this at the break, a high-scoring affair, you would believe, with the law of averages, not really the way Georgia wants to play this ball game. They can score, again, Swarm number 4 in the league in goals per ball game on average. But, of course, Halifax known for their offensive prowess. They have a bevy of weapons. They aren't keeping up with Halifax offensively. In fact, they're actually pacing the ball game offensively.
Yes, they get another good quick look. And again, I think Georgia's comfortable in this game in this up and down style, as now it's Halifax with the numbers here.
Another save by Poulin. This time off his left leg pad. Bell corrals it.
And Chris, to me, this game is different. Poulin is seeing the ball and he's making stops. When Georgia's keeping Halifax out of the middle of the field, we're seeing Poulin make saves. Even though it's been 6 goals, I like what I've seen from him in the cage so far.
Boucher comes up empty. So far this year, the bugaboo has been from Mike more times than not. Center of the floor traffic, and shots coming from the middle. Oh, the send down a little too rich and over the head of Cole. And so the Thunderbirds have it back. That was the first goal of the evening, by the way, a moment ago for Shane Jackson. As I mentioned a moment ago, he has a couple of assists. Mike has no idea where it is, and finally they'll clean it up.
I think that's 3 straight Halifax shots that we've seen hit the pipe. I think some of them Poulin's gotten a piece of, but certainly getting a little bit of help there as Jameson's really getting into dangerous areas and putting a lot of pressure on the Georgia defense.
Lyle on left. Pulls in a couple of defenders, gives off to a teammate. Traffic in the middle. That one kicks off the left leg of Hill. He'll make another save on right shoulder. Shot clock resets. McIntosh comes up with it from behind. He'll serve it back out to the front, and a reset of offense will begin. Thompson. Lyle. Score!
Chris, I was just about to say, Lyle's been quiet, which can be expected when you have a matchup with Graham Hossack, but this time it's number 4 in blue who gets the best of Hossack. Lyle operating on that righty wing, he steps over the top. The 2 Halifax defenders just miscommunication, misplay the pick, and really Thompson's first clear look at the cage, and he's able to bury it with another near side finish, beating Hill.
One of your big storylines coming into the affair we talked about during the week. The defensive plan on Lyle Thompson for the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, and I think any lacrosse fan out there knows that this is a matchup that you circle and look forward to watching. You have, arguably the 2 best in the world at their position with Lyle Thompson and Graham Hossack. So it's going to be a battle. They're both going to make their plays tonight, but it's going to be a fun one to watch as Thompson gets the better on that version.
Lyle's first tally, as we mentioned, of the evening. That will be his 32nd goal of the season. Push him to 68 points on the year. Another one off the pipe. Oh, boy. Oh, baby. What a play that was to corral and effectively keep possession.
Yeah, great play by Kyle Jackson.
Kyle Jackson,
do it all
thank you.
lefty. Phenomenal ground ball, earns the extra possession. Watch Jackson out of the box here again.
And Joe White may come right in on Hill. Halifax will set it up. Trying to go down in front, turnover.
Great defense there from TJ Camizio, creates a turnover. Georgia not with the numbers, but they're still looking to be aggressive in their transition offense here.
Wiedemann gives it off to Jackson. Shane to Lyle right as he dumps out. There's Lyle, I beg your pardon. That was Bomberry, of course. I misspoke. Thompson would love a screen. Can't quite get it. They'll put one on top of Hill as the shot clock is expiring.
A poor decision by Halifax in transition there. Earns the Swarm another opportunity, and when you're not winning as many face-offs, any of these second chance opportunities you can get if you're Georgia really helps to even out that possession and that shot total.
Whistle blows us dead. Withers is down.
Yeah, and I believe we're gonna have a penalty on Shane Jackson here. Gets up a little bit high on Withers in the two-man game. Sorry, it looks like that's going to be on Brendan Bomberry, as we'll hear the call from the official shortly.
That'll also give me an opportunity to give you one of the more surprising stats in the league this year, which will come on the other side of the break. First, the call.
Georgia penalty number 21, 2 minutes, illegal cross check.
Bomberry with the illegal check. He's now into the box. We'll take the break. 7-5 Georgia out in front on ESPN Plus and Peachtree TV.
Welcome back to Gas South Arena. 9:15 left in the first half. Coach, back and forth game so far. I think we've had a couple ties. How can your squad create some separation in this one?
I think we got to limit their transition and we got to create our own. I mean, we got a power play right now, so hopefully we can get one back. And then it's just consistency. 5-on-5 is where we're strong.
Thanks, Coach. Guys.
Thanks a lot, Tab. Halifax, with their amazing offense, one of the finest offenses without question in the league this year, provides us with one of the more surprising statistics, which you will find throughout this league on the team side of things. How about this, folks? So far this year, Halifax, dead last in the league on the power play. 29%. I almost can't believe it. 29%, Scott.
It is surprising, and we'll see if the addition of veteran all-world player Sean Evans can help with that.
Lost it on the way through. 5 on the shot clock. Evans, not this time. And Georgia has it back.
Yeah, nothing doing for Halifax there, and you know what I notice is they're stagnant. No body movement. They're passing the ball around, but they're staying in the same formation. And when you do that, that's when you see blocked and deflected shots, which we saw by Chad Tutton there on their first opportunity on the power play.
Well, I mentioned at the front, one of my keys to the ball game was special teams. I thought it might be the most important aspect of this ball game. Georgia, conversely, on the PK this year, as we have 45 seconds remaining on this power play for Halifax. How about Georgia is number 3 in the league this year on the PK. Number 3.
Yeah, great job, and that's going to be veteran Mike Poulin doing a great job in the cage, and guys like Chad Tutton and Joel White leading on the penalty kill for Georgia from a communication standpoint as Halifax enters to their second opportunity on this power play.
Now with about 20 seconds remaining on it.
Now,
Jackson.
let's see if they get some people movement here, because again, they're set up in that 5-man and really no cutters, which makes it easier for Poulin to track the ball. You saw Georgia's power play goal. They had, even though it was just a step down shot from the top center, they had off-ball screens, they had cutters.
Save made on Bell. And they will kill off the penalty.
And they have a 2-on-1 here.
Wiedemann, Bomberry. Hill makes a save in the 5-hole.
That's a great save by Hill. It looked like Bomberry had some daylight in the 5-hole there.
And if you're just tuning in, Bomberry sitting on a hat trick already in this ball game. As we squeak under the 7-minute mark of this second quarter. Georgia with a 7-5 lead. I would venture to say if Georgia could win this ball game, it would be maybe their biggest of the year in an attempt to get back to 500.
Without a doubt, and we've seen that Georgia's wins have come against teams under 500. So from a confidence building standpoint, to beat a team that's sitting at the top of the standings, it's going to be huge for Georgia if they can maintain this.
Lyle, a ripper that kicks off the board. Shane, got it! Jacko, tally number 2.
And you see the goal from Shane Jackson. He comes over the 2-man game, just giving way too much space, and that's a double screen. What a play by Jordan Hall there as the initial pick is set by Ethan Walker. Halifax tries to switch it. Jordan Hall sets a pick then on the switch man, which creates all that space for Jackson, and Jacko knows what to do with it.
5 points now on the night for Shane Jackson. 6-minute mark coming up, 8-5 Georgia. This is probably a good time to bring up this another prevailing storyline in the ball game. We talked a little bit earlier about how a high-scoring affair probably plays a little more into Halifax's style, benefits them maybe just a little bit more. Warren Hill dumping out of the cage now, by the way, and he's heading over to the bench.
Yeah, and there's going to be a delayed penalty on Georgia here, so Halifax is going to take advantage of the opportunity to get an extra guy, even if they turn it over, which they looks like they have. The rest will stop play, and we'll get a penalty call from the officials.
Georgia penalty, 2 minutes.
So grabbing the stick, a 2-minute penalty there on Georgia. Halifax back on the power play. But to
Ryan
finish your
McSpadgen
point
in the
there,
box.
Ryan McSpadgen, to finish your point, Chris, a doubleheader for Halifax, back-to-back nights.
Right.
Heard that they had a really difficult travel schedule getting into Georgia really early this morning. So when normally they're comfortable in these high-scoring affairs, are their legs going to be fresh to continue at this pace through the second half?
Tutton there to clean it up.
And there's another empty possession on the Halifax power play. I did like the movement better. They generated a good shot, not on target. Georgia's penalty kill continues to be strong.
0 for 4 on shots on the power play so far. On shots, this is their second power play opportunity of the ball game.
Now, ordinarily, I would say this is a spot where Lyle Thompson can be really dangerous. You know, taking on 2 defenders and dodging, getting the goal. Against Halifax, you see big number 4 there standing in front of the cage. He makes it a little tougher in these situations to generate a good shot on your penalty kill.
Minute on the extra man. Jamison goes across.
Haven't heard from Shanks tonight. 6 goals the last time these two teams met.
Jamison, save. Finally corralled. Ethan couldn't make the first catch. Walker. Boy, if he had caught that and been able to deliver, they would have lifted the lid off this building.
looked like a Russell Wilson noon ball there from Poulin. Dropped it right in there for Ethan Walker.
The new Denver Bronco, you mean? 13 on the extra man. Got to hurry now if you're Halifax. There's the shot, still loose. Mike's made the save. And that'll do it. Georgia's killed off another penalty. Man alive, what a year they've had on the PK. They've killed off 65% this year.
And Poulin really settling in and playing great lacrosse here in the second quarter.
3:28 remaining in the first half. 8-5, Georgia out in front. Back in Sting City, 8-5, Georgia out in front of Halifax. Swarm had this in them. Wonder if the score will surprise some folks across the league as Georgia looks to even their season mark. They can do so, take down one of the top teams in the league. But look, that's been one of our big storylines all year. Scott, alongside Scott Ratliff, I'm Chris Mooney. Thanks for tuning in. Locally in Atlanta on Peachtree TV, and of course, wherever you may be on ESPN+. We knew this Georgia team, as the season rolled along, was going to continue to get better. The young guys getting more work in with the veterans. This is a team that's been a title contender. This is not a rebuild, folks. This is a light rebuild, and with an emphasis on the word light. We've said to a man that this team in the second half of the season was going to be far better than they were, say, at the beginning of the year. Lyle.
So smooth.
Bomberry. Back to Lyle behind. Tries for the dunk! Nope.
Wow. An unbelievable dunk attempt from Lyle Thompson. It looked like it snuck in over the back shoulder of Hill. As we look at the replay quickly, you see that's the back of the net that the ball is stuck in. Inches away from another highlight reel goal from Lyle Thompson.
Fennell tries. He's still shaken up after that hard collision a little earlier. He is not at 100%. If you watch 43 in white, he's given it everything he's got, however. Yeah, see, he doesn't have the dexterity there to chase that one down. This man does, though. Mitch Spagin, right at a spin!
Yeah, most of the threats from the Halifax offense has come from the lefty side. It has been Fennell, and primarily it's been this guy, Cody Jamieson, getting to the middle of the field. Haven't seen much from Sean Evans and from Shanks over on the right side, and you wonder, does the absence of Stephen Keogh have something to do with that?
Don't forget, coming up at the half, our guaranteed rate halftime report, spectacular event. We'll talk about what makes the sport of lacrosse so great. Of course, we'll have your typical first half stats and highlights. That coming up at the half, the guaranteed rate halftime report from Duluth. Whistle blows, play dead. Here comes a little more of the extracurriculars you were mentioning earlier.
Yeah, it's a physical game, and we're going to get another penalty call from the officials.
Georgia penalty number 20, 2 minutes, holding the stick.
That's Jordan Hall, 2 minutes for holding the stick. So we've seen a lot of that tonight, a physical game off ball. Both teams getting penalized for cross-checking and holding calls, setting off-ball screens on offense. So now, can this Halifax power play finally break through?
They'll get their third try at it. And again, if you're just tuning in, we've spoken on a little bit. Halifax just 29% conversion rate on the power play this year. Remarkable with their incredible offense. Rolling around. Tarbell. Kaysen Tarbell. Joel White. Now he'll elect to wind it back.
And that's a veteran play by Joel White with 20 seconds left. Instead of taking that low or that high-risk opportunity, he pulls it out, tries to kill more time on the clock, and you're going to see Halifax is going to have to go quick with only 8 seconds left here in the half.
You also get a chance to see Lyle Thompson defending. Errant pass. Scooped up. Close range shot. No connection, and look how fired up Mike Poulin is. And that'll bring us to the end of the first half. Well, that was a very entertaining first half where 13 goals were combined to be scored. Very interesting that Georgia, gosh, maybe didn't dominate first half action, but they certainly outplayed Halifax. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, Chris, and you know, the storyline for me, Brendan Bomberry with the 3 goals in the first quarter and Mike Poulin really strong in the second.
Yeah, Brendan Bomberry is with Tabitha Turner-Wilkins.
Brendan, you guys are holding a really good offensive team to below their average. How do you maintain that momentum and not let the lead slip in the second?
We just keep doing, getting through the middle hard, swinging the ball on offense, and then getting back off so their defense can do, get out there and stop them. So, offense sticks to their game plan and get off, and so that defense do their job.
Thanks, Brendan. Guys.
Halftime coming up next. What a first half for the Georgia Swarm. At home, trying to pull off the upset of the Halifax Thunderbirds on ESPN Plus and Peachtree TV. Back at the half here at Sting City, the Gas South Arena in Metro Atlanta, where, as you see, Georgia leads Halifax by a score of 8-5. You know, fans, if you watch any National Lacrosse League game, you'll see firsthand how intense the game is and just how acrobatic and physical the players can be. Our very own Devin Keeney sat down with players around the league to highlight the many reasons why this game is so incredible to not only play, but also to watch.
That is going to make the highlight reel tonight.
Box lacrosse is the fastest game on 2 feet. If you go to a game, I promise that you'll never want to watch another sporting event ever again.
I remember going to games as a kid, and their old slogan was, "We'll sell you the whole seat, but you only need the edge. You don't want to miss a second."
To someone who wants to get to know the NLL, how would you describe it?
It's like a combination of basketball, a lot of up and down.
Oh, the dunk from Burn!
A lot of pick and rolls, a little bit of hockey as well, except you're allowed to hit people with a stick.
Obviously, we're running instead, so it's a little bit quicker. And there's a lot of goals scored, but it's also really rough.
It's a complete battle. You taking a slash in the knee or the elbow or taking a high stick. We were always taught that, to be good and to win, it hurts, right?
There's so much contact, obviously, from the shoulders to the hips. That's the name of the game as far as the mentality.
There's no offsides, there's breakaways all the time. There's fights, there's hits, there's so much going on.
There's a lot of whacking and hacking and a lot of goals being scored. Sometimes things happen in the game that ends up 2 people squaring off.
This has got to be a first!
Bicep pads, elbow pads, shoulder pads, kidney pads, and then shoes. And that's really it. Literally, guys are makeshifting their lacrosse equipment. They've got the elbow pad, but then they throw another pad on top of the elbow pad. There's a lot that goes into creating a professional lacrosse player's equipment.
I watched John Grant Jr. videos. He's retired in the league, but that's who I grew up watching.
John Grant Jr. is a wizard!
A lot of the times you'll be going, what the hell was that?
I don't even know what that was.
I feel like I'm in my prime.
Obviously, some of the stuff that Lyle Thompson does, the crease dives.
Are you kidding me? That's the Lyle Thompson we know.
Curtis Dixon carrying 3 grown men around and then scoring.
Patrick goal from Curtis Dixon.
Cody Jamieson, who scores a lot of those goals that you don't really see in any other sport.
When the game's on the line, you want number 88 with the ball in his stick.
Austin Shanks scores highlight reel goals on a continuous basis, but at timely fashions.
Shanks for the shot, he scores!
As a goalie, it's stressful. These guys are just so creative with their fakes now. Challen Rogers throws some amazing breakaway fakes.
Rogers shoots, scores!
We have a lot of talented players in this league, and probably the most underrated, hidden away sport there is out there.
Come out and watch a game. I guarantee that you're going to be addicted to it. It's go, 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 and nonstop entertainment.
Back in Sting City, the Guaranteed Rate halftime report. Time now to take a look at highlights from a very exciting first half.
Yeah, Chris, you mentioned it, a high-scoring first half, and the first quarter was all about that man, Brendan Bomberry, with the first quarter hat trick, giving a Swarm the lead. We saw Cody Jamieson on the Halifax side scoring goals, assists. We saw Shane Jackson doing what Shane Jackson does, coming out of that front door, generating goals in transition for the Georgia Swarm. As we look at the stats, shots on goal basically even. The big storyline to me, 0 for 3 on the power play for Halifax, right? Been a problem for them all season. And the goalie play of Mike Poulin. Started out a little bit shaky, came through in the second quarter with a lot of big saves.
One final break. When we come back, we'll get ready for second half action. 8-5, Georgia out in front. This is Peachtree TV and ESPN+. Back with the BetMGM scoreboard here at half. Action from around the league. Last night, of course, as well, Panther City with a big win over Colorado, one of the top teams out in the West. San Diego got a win over Saskatchewan, obviously a dramatic affair.
An unbelievable goal to win that game by Jeremy Noble.
And so, of course, Buffalo right now with a 5-1 lead on Philadelphia. That's a massive ball game in the East.
Huge implications there for this Georgia team. If this scoreboard stays the same and Buffalo overtakes Philadelphia and Georgia handles Halifax, they can move up in the standings.
Toronto and Vancouver going to meet in a cross-conference matchup tonight. That'll be a terribly interesting affair. Can't wait to watch the finish of that one after we are done here tonight. Tabitha Turner-Wilkins on the floor with Eric Fennell.
Eric, a little bit of work to do climbing back in this one. What needs to happen in the second for your squad?
We just need to keep working hard, stay together, and believe in ourselves, and I believe we can get back into this. We have a great team. We're playing against another great team, so we can't give up, and we can't expect anything. We just got to keep working hard.
Thanks. Look in second. Guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Tab. Thanks, Eric. Shane Jackson, 2 goals and 3 assists in first half action for the Swarm. Brennan Bomberry, as we mentioned, the hat trick. 2 assists for Ethan Walker, a goal and an assist for Brian Cole as well. Meanwhile, for Halifax, Austin Shanks with 3 assists, yet to score a goal. Eric Fennell with 2 goals and 2 assists. And Cody Jamieson with 3 points on the evening so far, a goal and 2 helpers. So, your thoughts as we make our way into the second half?
You know, I think this is a really important stretch. The first 5 minutes of this third quarter, can Georgia continue to dictate pace? Can Poulin continue to make plays? If they are able to maintain or build on this lead, perhaps you start to see some of the tired legs of Halifax come into play in the fourth quarter.
Halifax, of course, for those of you perhaps unaware, played just last night at home in Nova Scotia. Ah, yes, power play. Thank you for the reminder, Scotty. Power play to start this second half. That's, of course, the most important aspect that we should get into. We're down to 35 seconds on said power play for Halifax.
Yeah, that's right. Going into the half, we had the holding penalty on Jordan Hall, so Halifax is going to start on a power play here.
Which, of course, has been one of the bigger storylines of this season for Halifax and in our ball game here today. Shot clock expiration. Halifax will get it back with 15 on the penalty. Can they cash in with the extra man? Peterson off to Jamieson. Jamieson to Evans. Sean goes in, gives off. Winding shot for Jackson. That one tipped away by a defender. Still loose. Rolling out to the center circle. And that will be the end of the penalty.
And that's over and back, so we're going to get a Georgia possession. Those 2 lefties on the Georgia defense, to me, the heart and soul of this team, Brian Cole and Chad Tutton, they've been phenomenal again here tonight.
Halifax played at home last night versus Albany. Turned out to be a low-scoring grinder, a physical affair, as Albany, of course, is prone to do, which we know firsthand here, as the Swarm have faced them twice so far this year. That one knocked away. Good play by Fennell to jog that one loose. Scott Campbell, I beg your pardon. Albany won that ball game 8-7 last night. Halifax had to hop on the plane. Didn't get into Atlanta reportedly till 5, maybe 6 a.m. this morning. Had a stopover they had to make as well. So they obviously did not get the full night's worth of rest. And look, we're talking about professional guys here, so you know, it is what it is. It's all relative, but when you're playing a Georgia Swarm team that's been off for a week, of course, that's part of the storyline, that's part of the conversation piece, and a Swarm team that's playing at max confidence right now into this ball game.
No doubt. And, you know, layovers on a flight to Atlanta, Chris, they must not have been on Delta.
You joke, but I said the same thing. You got to stop from Nova Scotia to come down to Atlanta?
The busiest airport in the world,
Yep.
the best airline in Delta.
I'm telling you.
Got to get in here direct, man.
What are you, trying to get some more Sky Miles?
Always hustling.
Yeah. Walker was weaving in front. I thought he was about to receive it. McIntosh had it knocked out. Lyle's got it. Oh, and Thompson, as he was going in on Hill, he lost the possession. How about that?
A nice break for Halifax there as Lyle Thompson was about to have a dangerous look.
Well, that was like the Fates did not want Georgia to put one on Hill. Shanks. Oh, great look.
So far, we've seen this Halifax offense have success with their lefties, with Cody Jamison and Eric Fennell. We'll see if they can get their righties going on the board here as Shanks
being forced out. Nothing doing there.
And as I say that, Shanks does have 3 assists on the night, you know, throwing across the floor, feeding guys like Fennell and Jamison. But most of the offense, from my perspective, has been generated by those lefties.
Great look. On top of Hill, he's able to make the save rather easily. It's a friendly hello. Tyson Bell says, hi guys, just checking in.
Anytime there's a scrap, a little extracurricular, you can find Tyson Bell right in the mix. He's an exciting player, an unbelievable competitor. Team Canada guy. Really fun to watch in between the lines.
Jackson. Kyle works into the middle. Ethan Briggs right on top of him for a moment there. Work in, lost the handle. 2 on the shot clock, gotta hurry. It's deflected. Georgia's got it back.
And that's great defense. He's really isolated. That's Joel White, isolated with Clark Peterson over on the right side. Able to keep getting off a good shot, and we have more pushing and shoving going on in front of the Halifax bench.
Shane Jackson couldn't get out of the zone over there and off the bench to get into the offense. Halifax had an advantage down here in the offensive end. Georgia's offensive end, 5 on the shot clock. Halifax will scoop it up, now they're pushing. This is Campbell, who was able to corral the loose ball.
And the pace of this third quarter really different so far. We saw the offensive explosion in the first half, and here we see some sloppy play by the offense, but really physical play by both defensive groups.
Real miscommunication there between Shanks and I believe that was Evans. Oh, right in on top. Kicks off the board, still loose, just outside of the crease. And Halifax has got it back, and the push will move forward. From Withers to Evans. Sean spinning, sealed out. Jamison now. Cody's going to go right in on Mike Poulin, who will make the save.
Great save by Poulin, and that's the best look of the half we've seen. And again, it's Fennell and Jamison on the 2-man game on the left side. Good job by Poulin. We saw him going into the half with a ton of energy. He's come out hot.
Remember, this could be a special night for Mike Poulin tonight, as he is in pursuit of career win number 100 to make him only the 4th league goalie to eclipse that mark. Lyle Thompson trying to help him get there. Lyle Thompson, oh by the way, is also in search of a milestone tonight. He's on 2 points tonight, now 4 away from 500 for his career.
And here we see Thompson in the 2-man game with Bomberry. That's Hossack switching, and Campbell just gets caught up for a half a second. Thompson gets off the underhand shot, and it looks like it just squeaks through the pads of Hill, who had a beat on the shot. Georgia draws first blood in the second half.
9-5 now, the Swarm out in front. Cole. Cutter. Save. Peterson. Jamison, Evans, and Jackson down in front could not connect with him. I'll beg your pardon. Actually, that was Peterson who was down in front.
Yeah, just not the crispest play from Halifax offensively. You saw them struggle last night against Albany, and besides that big first quarter, really struggling to connect on set plays. uncharacteristic of a group that's been one of the best in the league all season.
We're closing in on the midway point of this quarter. Halifax yet to get on the board. Lyle got 4 on the shot clock. Give off to a teammate. Here's a ripper. That was McIntosh. Bomberry, I beg your pardon. He'll not get the second one off in time. Shot clock violation. Halifax has it back, and that'll draw us to a break at 7:37 of the third quarter. Just one tally in this third quarter. Georgia now leading 9-5. All right. Last weekend, Mike Poulin corralled his 99th win in his career, passed Anthony Cosmo for 4th place on the all-time list, and he also recorded his 6,000th save. What a career for Mike Poulin. What a night tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned Mike Poulin, an opportunity to make history here tonight. He has been lights out, making countless saves here for the Georgia Swarm and generating energy. You see the veteran with great body language really leading this Georgia team, who we mentioned the first 5 or 6 minutes of this third quarter, really an opportunity to make a statement, and it's been Poulin who's held tough and kept Halifax scoreless in the second half.
So Mike Poulin searching for win number 100 tonight. Again, only 3 other keepers, only 3 other netminders in this league's history have reached 100. Who's who of netminders in this league's history? Still got a long way to go. 22 minutes of play. Great look through traffic. Holy smokes, worm burner. No problem for Mike this time.
And I love what the Georgia defense is doing. You know, Mike Poulin at his best on these low-angle shots, and all night tonight, they've kept Halifax out of the middle of the field, allowing Poulin to see the shots he wants. You know, it's not talked about enough with goalie play. The defensive play really matters. If you're giving up the right shots, that's when you see those huge save totals that these goalies put up.
Bounce out to Armstrong. Offense is in. Shanks. Still not on the board goal-wise. Shanks up and under, and saved by Poulin.
And
Mitch
here we
Badgen.
go.
Mitch Badgen. Ryan forced out. Good job by Gillies to get in there and push him out.
Going back to the other end, Poulin, he's feeling it now, Chris.
Yes.
That's a heat check type save right there. The one-on-one, multiple fakes. He throws the elbow up, makes the stop.
Jordan Hall gets a little help from the pipe, I believe. There's Mike. The Poulin wall.
And again, you can see it in his body language, right? He's standing tall, he looks confident. It's a scary sight if you're the Halifax offense.
Again, it's not just Poulin, though, by the way. Let's make sure we're giving the defense all the credit they deserve, because the defense and Mike Poulin tonight on the verge, at least if it continues along this path of having their easily their best game of the year. Look, Halifax only has 24 shots so far in the ball game.
Yeah,
if that number's even, I almost can't believe it, the number. Check that, 26 shots as it's just updated on the stat sheet.
Still with 4 minutes here left in the third. They gave up 50 shots the last time these two teams played, so massive improvement.
Shanks on near side, gonna make a move, gets sealed out. Look at the collapse defensively, down on Shanks.
And there you go, that's great health defense. Shanks commits to the dodge. Multiple swarm defenders converge. Call that a Shark Tank. Dodger gets to the middle of the field. All the Sharks got to come eat. They did that time.
Lyle Thompson has 2 goals tonight. Over the stick of McIntosh, 5 on the shot clock. Thompson's got it, better hurry. He'll throw it from deep. Come up empty. Lyle Thompson again, he too looking for a milestone as we mentioned a moment ago. Now 4 points away from the 500th point of his career. Reached the 200 goal plateau during this very season. Oh, great extra pass. Peterson comes up empty.
Yeah, really sharp offensive possession there by Halifax. Starts with a bounce pass from Sean Evans. Ball switches field twice, but once again, Poulin on the 5-hole attempt, drops down, makes the save.
You read my mind. I was just about to ask you, is that the best possession in the half floor that maybe Halifax has had in the last couple of minutes?
It is, and look, Halifax is going to get good looks, and they're going to score. So if you're Georgia, you've got to stay on the offensive. On the offensive end, it's Hill. Brings the goal along with them as he makes a save there.
Austin Shanks. When is he going to break through and put one in the back of the net? You know it's coming. Got a man down. They'll keep winding it. Poulin makes another save. Again, a massive night across the league. In fact, just a big weekend across the league, counting last night. How important was that win for Albany? Hall comes up empty. That'll lead us to a break. We'll continue this conversation about the scores across the league when we come back. Mike Poulin looking for an all-timer tonight. His club with a 4-goal lead. Fans, don't forget the Georgia Swarm return to Sting City on Friday, April 1st versus Toronto for College Night, one of our favorite nights. Special giveaways and promotions. Tickets start at just $12, so make sure you visit georgiaswarm.com today. How about another milestone for you? Jordan Hall has now eclipsed the 800-point plateau for his career. We've got a chance to have a very special milestone-driven night tonight here at Sting City. Trying for the putback. That one will not fall. Mike Pullen is absolutely sliding from left to right tremendously tonight. Wiedemann goes flying in, can't get it to fall. Tutton will follow. He didn't have space to get one past Hill. Speaking of sliding from pipe to pipe.
Pullen keeps up the impressive work. Halifax comes out of the break with a set piece, gets the look they want from Peterson. Pullen's up to the task.
I know Halifax on offense here, but just a moment before, I want to make sure we don't forget Scott, Jordan Hall getting to 800 points in his career. So many people will remember him and love him for his time here in 2017. That remarkable year, he had 80 points. He had 20 goals and 60 assists that year. And of course, in that title run, 12 goals and 6 assists. What a career Jordan Hall has had.
Yeah, Chris, you said 800 points, and I had to double take. A lot of people don't do anything 800 times in their life, much less score professional points in the National Lacrosse League. Just an unbelievable career from the former #1 overall pick, Jordan Hall.
Didn't Como draft Jordan Hall? I think that's right. I might be wrong about that.
That is right, to the New York Titans.
That's right. That's exactly right. Good gracious. Now we're dating ourselves.
Coach Como in his 21st season, so he's been around for a little bit.
Evans tries to hit Jackson. Bit of an errant pass. In his defense, Sean was being checked about that time. Good defensive play there. Rattling the cage, Ethan Riggs. Mike makes another save as the shot clock is winding down. Again, give Mike so much credit. We're going to have ourselves a penalty call coming, by the way.
Both ends of the floor. It's going both ways. It's going both. I understand, but it's going both ways. We can call every single thing that goes on.
Well, you caught the official in a moment of candid honesty. Absolutely right. By the way, tremendous job by our officials crew tonight. Sean Grenier, John Vander Giesen, Blair Ferguson, and Mark Henderson. They've been very, very good here tonight, Scott. So, 2 minutes. This will carry into the fourth quarter, of course, as we wind down the final half minute of the third stanza. Loose on the near board. Back out to the top, another whistle. Oh, baby. Uh-oh. Halifax about to have a two-man.
It looks like they're going to give both Halifax and Georgia.
It's going to be Joel White.
Joel White and Clark Peterson. They were mixing it up. It looks like they both exchanged.
Slashing.
They're
Georgia's
going
penalty,
to
2
call
minutes
them
for roughing.
slashes. They look more like
5
punches.
on 5.
Fancy punches.
So it's still just going to be a man advantage. You're still going to see Halifax on the power play.
And Warren Hill has removed himself from the pipes. Oh, now he's going to head back. All right.
And again, the Halifax power play just continues to look out of sync. You know, a little bit of movement as they put a cutter into the middle.
Those last twos won't go on the board. The 2-minute penalties won't go on the board. They don't go until next contact off. Their time is up. So get those off, please.
Scoreboard technicalities from the officials.
Because they're not time served.
23.8 remaining in the third quarter.
And so I was mentioning the Halifax power play just out of sync. You know, just not really able to connect. And not only have they not scored, they're 0 for 3, maybe 0 for 4 now on the night. But they haven't really generated a lot of dangerous looks. So if they're going to make a run in this game, we talked about finishing quarters, 23.8 seconds left in the third quarter, to score a goal and try to generate some energy going into this fourth quarter, this is a really important time if you're the Halifax Thunderbirds.
Get one here, it changes the momentum potentially. Game clock never started. They'll have to wind them back. Our clock started. Game clock in the building never started.
23.8, please.
Great crowd here tonight in Sting City.
23.8 on the clock.
A little bit of cat calls coming out from the crowd as well. Yes, indeed. Very active, very boisterous crowd on this Saturday evening. Well, look, When you live in the capital of the South, you spend a lot of time outside, even on a Saturday evening in March. They're not doing that tonight.
As a Georgia
Blistering
native,
cold.
It's really amazing though to just see how far this sport has come. And you mentioned just not only the size of the crowd in here, but the lacrosse IQ. The fans here in Georgia now really starting to understand this game, and it's really a beautiful thing to see for the growth of the NLL and the growth of the sport of lacrosse in general.
Well, of course, Metro Atlanta is a destination city, a transplant city, as so many of you watching out there know. You got a lot of kids who are now starting to grow up, getting into their high school years. You look at, say, high school lacrosse in this state. It was still an open sport championship in the early 2000s.
So here we go, important last 15 seconds. See if Halifax can get something going. As we see more people movement than we've seen on the power play before.
Evans. Nice pass, Jackson. Not this time. Not Jackson, that was Fennell. Either way, an empty trip. They'll have another whack at it, power play-wise, when we make our way to the final stanza here at Sting City. The home faithful at Gas South hoping for a Georgia win. The Swarm with a 4-goal lead to the 4th. What a scene at Sting City. The National Lacrosse League, so great, isn't it? Don't forget, fans, you can get game day ready and shop your favorite teams, jerseys, and merchandise. Head to NLLshop.com to get all your National Lacrosse League and team gear today.
So, Chris, as we come out of the break, I have a correction from going into the break.
You're going to correct me or you?
I'm going to correct both of us. I guess myself primarily. But former Swarm great, now the voice of NLL Lacrosse on ESPN, Mitch Belisle, informed me that
I've heard of him, yeah.
It was not Coach Como who drafted Jordan Hall to the New York Titans. He came in Hall's second year there after 2 seasons. So, Mitch, we appreciate you. That's why you're the best, buddy.
We were close.
We were close.
We were close.
Coach Como was coaching in the league, just not yet with the Titans.
How come it went off? We need you. I'm trying to get the penalty started. The clock didn't.
Okay, so there's 1:12 left in the penalty.
Whitey's and the other guys that come after our stoppage.
So as you heard the conversation there just a moment ago, 1:12 remaining on the power play. The penalty. Halifax will have another rip at it. Already so far in this game, 0 for 3 on the power play. How come I don't have any famous former players texting me? What's up with that?
Mitch Belisle and I teammates in the outdoor game for the Boston Cannons for a few years. He's a massively important person in the sport and a hometown guy. He's been on these Georgia Swarm broadcasts, and he was a great player for the Swarm as well.
We just missed each other. Jamison winds up and scores from the top. 9-6. Finally, the Thunderbirds have broken the seal on the power play drought here this evening.
And Halifax desperately needed that. You know, all night it felt like Jamison has been kind of the motor for this Halifax offense, getting to the middle of the field. And there you just see his patented overhand release, a little bit of a twister, deception for Poulin. Look, if you give them enough power plays, they're going to break through. So if you're Georgia, brush that one off and see if you can't get the momentum going back in your favor, now at even strength.
Jamison has had so many opportunities in this one. That will be his first goal, as we mentioned, on the evening. And for Cody, it'll be his 9th on the year. Go along with 2 assists. That'll push him up to 34 points on the campaign. And we're back to 9-6, back to a 3-goal game. By the way, just 1 goal scored in the 3rd quarter. You kidding me? After the incredible first 2 quarters we saw here, the first half in Metro Atlanta. 1 goal in that 3rd quarter, which of course was in favor of Georgia.
And a big stop right there by Georgia. You know, it seems minor, but when they score a goal and then they win a power or win a face-off right away, important to get that next stop and not allow Halifax to get into a run.
Fans, always trust your instincts. Young broadcasters, always trust your first instincts. I knew that was Jamison's 2nd goal. As I was staring at the stat page, perusing the numbers, it updated. And does credit Jamison with his 2nd goal. So Cody now with 2 and 2 on the evening. Now to double figures. And goals scored on the year. Thompson gonna go right in and score!
Well, if you're a Georgia Swarm fan, you've seen this before. Lyle Thompson getting the ball on the right side. Bomberry comes up, sets a pick. It looks like the Halifax defenders is expecting a switch. The pick never really makes contact either way. That's all the space Thompson needs. He goes underneath, he goes airborne, and that's that patented near side finish as he's flying through the air. One of the most athletic players in the league, one of the greatest of all time, Lyle Thompson.
He just explodes to the rack. And now Lyle Thompson with the hat trick on the evening. Surprisingly, no assists on the night, by the way. 3 goals, no assists for Lyle Thompson. Again, surprising. Now he is within 3 points of 500 career, which he'll either get tonight or I'll bet you a dime to a dollar he gets it next week, the next ball game. So, right back to 10-6, and that's a very big goal for momentum. Kicks off the pipe. Holy smokes. Then it kicked off the back of Poulin, or the back of his leg, and rattled around back to the board. That was big.
Yeah, we've seen the pipe come up big for this Georgia defense a few times tonight. When you've been as good as Poulin for as long as he has, you're going to get some of those pipes in a big game like this.
But again, Halifax gets that goal in the power play, makes it a 3-goal game. Georgia comes right back and gets another one to pick it back up, push it back out, I beg your pardon, to 4.
Yeah, and Chris, you know, last week as Halifax is on the attack here, it was a game of runs, right? We saw Rochester multiple times score 2, 3, 4 goals in a row. Georgia's done an amazing job tonight of not giving up that run. It's still 12 minutes left in the game, but they've held Halifax to just really having to grind out every goal and not string multiple together. And when you think about Jake Withers at the X, really impressive stuff from the Georgia D.
Halifax with just 2 goals since the first quarter. Hall was cutting in and lost it. Send us back the other way. How about that number? Halifax with 4 goals in the first frame. They've only scored twice since. There's one. What a shot for Boucher. Oh, baby. You got to put so much into that. Scotty, I need you to walk me through this. 17th for Boucher on the year.
Yeah, and again, Boucher with that low center of gravity, really strong. He fights over top of that pick. He gets into the middle of the field, and then falling down, he brings it back near side. I've mentioned a few times, deception, such a big part of scoring goals in the NLL. Bushi there, as he's falling, all of his momentum suggests I'm going towards the far pipe, and with his wrist strength, he's able to pull that shot back to the near side and beats Poulin. So here's an opportunity, 11:38. Can Halifax make their run and throw their punch?
17th goal of the year for Chris Bushi. Now to 29 points on the year. He's got a goal and an assist tonight. Swarm will make the change. Comizio dumps off to Thompson.
And that's a big face-off winning ground ball from Kurse as here goes Thompson.
Oh, and he's careened into in the crease. Whistle and a hand goes up, and Lyle is certainly shaken up. Never let him see you hurt.
Yeah, as Lyle goes airborne, that's Jake Withers, one of the toughest guys in the league. Gets into Lyle's hip. And they're going to send both of them to the box. So Withers, either for that initial hit or the extracurricular stuff at the end. And I believe they're going to get Thompson for jumping into the goalie here.
2 minutes, goaltender interference. Halifax penalty number 18, 2 minutes, illegal cross-check. Order of occurrence, blue ball.
Okay, so we'll talk through that. They get the cross-check on Halifax number 18, Jake Withers. So that's the hit that you saw from Thompson. They get Thompson for goalie interference, and then they say because of order of occurrence, that's going to be blue ball. So what that tells you is they're saying that Thompson ran into the goaltender first, and then Withers with the cross-check. So I believe they are getting Withers for that late cross-check when Thompson's lying on the ground. Either way, the penalties will cancel out. We're all even. Georgia ball, but you have Thompson in the box now.
That'll bring Cole out on the floor offensively. Walker, McIntosh. Off to Walker. Oh, Walker's cutting. Ethan sealed out. Now to Bomberry. Brennan puts one into the chest of Hill, who makes the save.
And Chris, you can feel almost the nervous energy starting to build in the room. I think the Georgia fans know how important of a game this is, but against an 8-2 team in Halifax who scored the last goal, they're going to need to string together some stops here.
Bounce shot off to the right of Poulin. Fennell has it back. Got a man on top, and he's got him. That's a big one. Chris Bushi with 2 in a row. 18th of the year, 10-8 game.
Bushi gets another one. It's a little bit of a broken play. The initial ground ball, and Georgia gets lost right there. I believe that's Robert Hudson, not able to find a man off of the loose ball. Bushi gets free on the inside, and that's probably the easiest one they've had all night, as we have more coming from our officials here.
Another man in blue headed for the box.
That's wiped out by the goal. Georgia penalty number 27, 2 minutes, illegal cross-check.
Wow, so they had 2 penalties on Georgia on that possession. First, a holding, which is wiped out for the goal, but they also had an illegal cross-check, which they are going to have to serve. With Withers still in the box for Halifax, the end result here is you're going to have Halifax on a 5-on-4 power play.
A brand new ball game.
But Withers not at the X, so potentially a chance for Jordan McIntosh to steal a faceoff. Good job by Tarafinko tying him up.
It took the place of Withers, absolutely. So can the Thunderbirds pay off another power play? Just as they did the last opportunity they had. 1 for 4 on the power play so far this evening. Not this time.
Almost an identical shot from Jameson there, pulling up to the task.
Quick shot right on the Poulin. Really didn't have the angle on that one. Fennell. Scooped up by Bushi, work back to the top. This is Jameson. Pass kicks away. Swarm have it.
And Joel White draws a push there on Halifax to give Swarm a much-needed possession back to kill off some time on this power play. Looks like about a minute left.
That'll bring us to a dead ball and a break as well. Potentially. As the officials working something out here. Nope, just a conversation on the center emblem, but that will hit the break. 2-goal game, headed for a fantastic finish. 9:19 remaining on ESPN Plus and Peachtree TV.
Is belief. Nathan McKinnon, at 14, he wasn't wishing he'd make it to the NHL. He believed that he would. So while other kids were playing video games, he was putting in the work to make his dream come true. Guaranteed Rate believes in your dreams. That's why we treat everyone like we treat our own family and work extra hard to get you the lowest low rate possible. Because if you believe, you will.
Let's show the world what it means to be a fan. The world's largest collection of fan gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
There's no better feeling than a win, except a BetMGM win. Goodbye. Woo! That one hurt good. You feel that? Yeah! Now you're winning with the king of sportsbooks. Come on.
The NLL on ESPN is brought to you by Guaranteed Rate. If you believe it, you can do it. Guaranteed Rate. Believe you will. By NLLshop.com, a Fanatics experience. Officially licensed everything. And by BetMGM, the official sportsbook of the NLL. Get the BetMGM app today. Now you're winning with the king of sportsbooks. Please bet responsibly. So a moment ago, we were talking about the offensive struggles for the Halifax Thunderbirds and how they had only scored the 2 goals since the first frame. Now they have outscored Georgia 3-2 second half action.
Yeah, and it really has been the Georgia penalties that have given Halifax life. A couple of power play goals. Going to be important to play cleaner here in this fourth quarter, as Halifax now is going to get another chance on offense on the power play.
Georgia will take, once again, the number 3 penalty kill in the league. Trying to put another one in the pine box. 30 seconds for the Thunderbirds. Fennell, not this time. McIntosh, got to corral it, still loose. He'll scoop it up and turn it into a spin move.
And that's a big play by McIntosh. A turnover right there gives Halifax another opportunity where now Georgia should be able to kill off the rest of this power play.
Adam Wiedemann ready to dump off the bench out of the penalty box. He's directing traffic. He's going to come back into the fray. Halifax will have possession back, as you saw. 8-minute mark coming up. 2-goal game. Number 2 team in the Eastern Conference, the Halifax Thunderbirds, sitting at 8-2 on the year, coming off of a loss last night to Albany at home. Georgia at 5-6 on the year, trying to stay in the playoff race and climb up the standings in the East themselves, trying to get to 500.
Great contest on that shot by the rookie Robert Hudson for the Georgia defense.
Paul. Boy, oh boy, was that a pass to Walker? Or was that a shot kind of in between there?
Yeah, it was a pass that I think was either deflected or Walker unable to handle, as Halifax with a dangerous look. Nothing doing it. You know, Thompson's been locked in the box this whole time, so it feels like forever since Georgia's had a really effective, settled 5-on-5 offensive set. But Poulin and the defense has been able to hold strong.
Jamison scoops up on the near board. Fresh shot clock. 7-minute mark during this possession, almost certainly. Right-hand shot. Still loose down there. Scooped up by White. Brian Cole holds out his right hand and tells everybody to settle down. Jackson. Oh, great look. Oh, what a tremendous look that was. He almost connected with Hall right on top of Hill. In the end, Jackson's got it back. He'll throw one down on top of Hill to try to get one on him as the shot clock is expiring. Halifax has it back.
And again, I'm going to mention Georgia's desperate for a stoppage and play here so they can get Thompson out of the box and back into the fray offensively.
Save! This ball pushed the call back there. Kaysen Tarbell.
We're getting to that time of the game, 6 minutes in a 2-goal game where every possession becomes magnified. Look for the veterans and the leaders on both teams to have the ball on their stick as it's Jordan McIntosh to Shane Jackson right on cue there.
Still loose. That one easily right onto the stick of Thompson. Shanks. Work out to spread the offense and the defense. Shot off the pipe once again. Holy smokes, they're going to have to repaint that joker by the end of this ball game.
You see Poulin reaching over with his left hand and giving the pipe a little tap, as almost to say, thanks, buddy.
If he gets his 100 tonight, he may tell the equipment folks here at the Gas South Arena, I'm taking this one home with me.
And look, it's not by accident. When you're playing great in the cage and you're taking up space, there's nowhere for them to shoot at. And that's going to push the shots a little bit outside, and that's why you're seeing so many pipes. It's a credit to Poole.
Sliding left and right and closing the spaces down, right?
Absolutely.
White.
There's Jackson.
Indeed. Oh, great extra pass! Off of Hill in his midsection. McIntosh had a shot at it. We are down to 4:40 remaining. Alongside Scott Ratliff, I'm Chris Mooneyham. Thanks for joining us in Atlanta on Peachtree TV, or perhaps you're joining us on ESPN+. Jackson, sealed out, give off to Evans. Sean goes underhand, maybe 3/4. Poulin makes a save, point blank range, saves that one as well. He denies Austin Shanks and gets a big hand from the crowd.
Absolutely, Mike Poulin coming up huge tonight for the Georgia Swarm.
But that will hit another break. 4:20 remaining in Metro Atlanta. The Georgia Swarm looking for one of the biggest wins, if not the biggest of their year.
Welcome to the National Lacrosse League.
Well, you think we waited long enough? Well, let's enjoy some great lacrosse here.
Here we go, game on.
Teat with a seam on the right. Here comes Teat looking for his first career goal.
An amazing goal by Natico.
The player uncorks it, scores!
What a night for the rookie.
Harris, Dawson, shoots!
Are you kidding me? Travis Cornwall with the first goal in franchise history.
Rolling towards the top. This is Eric Fennell.
Here we go.
Hogarth for the win. Nighthawks get it done. Fennell switches hands. He scores! Eric Fennell.
And he scores! The Philadelphia Wings win it in overtime.
The Fanatics turning point of the ball game. Scott Ratliff.
Yeah, in a game that's really turned into a defensive battle, the turning point is the diving highlight goal from Brendan Bomberry. We talked about it. Hasek able to keep Lyle Thompson, well, relatively in check, but you've seen Bomberry picking up the slack with 3 huge goals, including our Fanatics turning point goal, the highlight reel dive from Brendan Bomberry.
A shade over 4 minutes remaining here in Duluth. Meanwhile, in Buffalo, the Bandits lead Philadelphia, winding down third quarter action. If Philadelphia loses and Georgia wins here tonight, they will move up in the standings in the Eastern Conference. Of course, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing to be in the 7th or 8th spot in the potential playoff standings. If you're in the 8th spot, you'll end up having to play the first place team from the West. Shot on Poulin, makes the save.
Yeah, and right now that's the San Diego Seals, a group that looks very dangerous over there on the West Coast. We saw them with another big win last night. But at the same time, is there an advantage to playing through the playoffs on the West side where maybe they don't have the depth as the Swarm with another great-looking transition?
That's right. Playoffs will be in division until the championship. Oh boy, I think that one got past Poulin, but then he was able to kind of kick it with the back of his foot and send it away.
And again, looking at Poulin's body language, he's been on fire all night tonight. He's been the rock that's made this thing go for the Georgia Swarm. He comes up big again with a 2-goal lead, and now under 3 minutes left to play.
Thompson. Georgia might just need one to be the icer. Shot on Hill as the shot clock is winding down. No connection there for Jackson. Still a scrum for it back there on the boards. Hill's even dumped out. He's going to try to get it corralled as well.
Big ground ball right here. And you know what? If you're Georgia, this is fine.
This is great.
Tick, tick, tick. Right? They got their defensive personnel on the field up top. They're killing clock. And look at that. They come up with the possession. And almost a good shot on goal.
Two-minute mark coming up.
A mistake there by Ethan Walker. Didn't realize the shot clock slow. Halifax with numbers.
Smith trickles past Poulin, but past the pipe. He's living a charmed life tonight.
Wow, Poulin again. I mentioned the mistake by Walker. He thought they had a shot clock reset, and they didn't. So instead of dumping the ball in the corner, he turns it over up top, which gives Smith the transition opportunity. And Mike Poulin is absolutely standing on his head in net for the Georgia Swarm.
Jackson, minute and a half, and it's poked loose. Here's the push. Hasek waits for the offense. Wisely will be at 115, maybe 110 during the possession.
Plenty of time if you're Halifax. With Jake Withers at the X, just got to focus on getting one, and you know you can earn another possession quick.
Close range, and it's through. The goal for Halifax. They're not dead yet. It's a 1-goal game. Peterson.
We mentioned it. Halifax just had to find that one to break through on a chaotic play off of a rebound. I believe that's Sean Evans, the veteran, comes up with the loose ball, finds Peterson right in the middle. And from that spot on the floor, Peterson, one of the best in the league, a fake, a near side finish, really nothing Poulin could do there. And so here we go, 1 minute and 8 left on the clock, and a massive face-off coming.
5 points on the night for Peterson, 2 goals and 3 assists. Mike Poulin, 68 seconds away from becoming only the 4th man in league history to win 100 goals between the pipes.
And we've seen Withers dominate the X, but we've also seen Georgia create some turnovers and come up with some loose balls. I saw the captain, Jordan McIntosh, wave Camizio off the floor and said, this one's mine. So you love to see that in this moment of the game. Your captain, a great who's in the top 10 all time in face-off wins, is going to step up and challenge Withers with 1 minute and 8 left in the game, and what's really a critical possession as you look at the 30-second shot clock. You know, an opportunity for about 2 more possessions in this one.
Goal was replayed and stands. Post-game live coming up after our ball game, of course, NLL post-game live. We'll have an interview with the winner. We'll have a scoreboard, game recap, league standings.
Withers comes up with a face-off win relatively easily. and Halifax is going to take a quick timeout and draw something up.
Good timeout out of Accursi. What a ball game. Now, let's visit both.
Hey, just all Chines right it up, right? We have a timeout to use here if we need it, but they may not put their goalie back in, right? So if we can take it down and score, let's fucking score.
Indeed, Coach. Indeed.
Yeah, really just a heads up coaching moment there from Coach Como. First off, you hear the fire in his voice. It gets me fired up, standing up here. But all he's saying there is, you know, they're likely going to expect Halifax to pull their goalie to get the extra attacker in a situation where they have to score. They do have a timeout, so if Georgia has a possession and they're in trouble, he'll use it, but he's letting his players know, look, guys, the goalie might be out of the net. So if we can get a turnover, if we can push the tempo and we can score in the empty net, let's effing do it.
Go ahead. I was worried about you for a second. You are fired up. Go ahead and score as opposed to running it out, running around, and working on the shot clock. You like that strategy, going ahead and scoring, going for the 2-goal lead.
Yeah, look, we've seen Georgia be aggressive in these moments all year. Coach Como trusting his players, oftentimes not taking the timeout. But first they're going to need to stop as Halifax has the extra attacker in the open net.
They do pull Hill. Warren Hill is out. Here's the shot by Jamison. Saved by Poulin. He wants the leak out. He can't send it ahead, so they'll just kind of take their time here.
And Poulin's going to call a timeout. He was looking for it.
Yep. That 3, my count.
He was looking for the breakaway. He didn't see an opportunity he liked, and then you could see him look over towards the official in motion for that timeout.
Jamison wanted it was a 3 count. So now let's revisit both huddles, not audio-wise. What are you saying if you're on the Halifax side, first of all?
Well, if you're Halifax, look, it's a 30-second shot clock, so you got to get a stop, right? There's going to be 16 seconds left for you offensively, which is plenty of time to go down and get a goal. So you're talking about, hey, we're going to expect them to probably hold the ball. Let's put a little ball pressure. If we can create a turnover, great, but let's settle in. I would look for a 2-man game with Bomberry and Thompson over on the righty side. We got to dig in and get a stop, and then we got to go. We got to get to the box, get our guys on the floor, and attack. So they're probably talking both defensive strategy and what are we going to do with the ball very quickly here in this final 15 seconds.
Because if you're Halifax, you'll have no more than about 18 seconds remaining in the ball game if a shot doesn't find home. Then if you're Georgia, really quickly, drawing up a play, and if you are, what are you looking for?
Yeah, well, I think first you're probably looking to hold the ball down to about 12 seconds. So you're going to put it in Lyle Thompson's stick. He's great with handling pressure. Let him run around, kill some time. At about 12 seconds, look to see them go into some sort of a set play. Again, I would expect the ball to stay in number 4's stick, either Thompson going to the cage or feeding across for Shane Jackson, perhaps on a backside pipe cut. The other thing you can do is you can put a shot on cage and hope to get a rebound, which gives you a reset and a chance to kill off the rest of the game.
Cole, whole place here in Duluth, the entirety of Sting City rising to their feet. Big body, Brian Cole. There's the shot.
And now if they come up with a ground ball.
Who's got it? Clock's winding down to 15.
If you're Georgia, just keep it on the ground here. Let the clock tick down. They've got 2 guys back on D.
Crowd's cheering them on. Down to 8. Now 7. Got a man breaking away. Terafinko. Give up to a teammate. Still loose. Still loose. Clock winds out. Georgia wins. The win of the year for the Georgia Swarm. And for Mike Poulin, it's history. Matt Bentz, Pat O'Toole, Bob Watson, and now Mike Poulin. Those the only 4 members of the 100-win club for netminders in league history. And don't you know that he knows it? Let's take one last look at the clock winding down on the near board.
And a great job by Brian Cole and Joel White to just make it a ground ball for as long as it was. Ryan Terafinko had a good opportunity in transition, Halifax, but ultimately that's Chad Tutton, the defensive captain for Georgia. A physical play on Terafinko, puts him on the ground, comes up with the ground ball. and you can sense the excitement and how big of a win this was for the Georgia Swarm.
That's right. The way they exploded off of that bench, you know how much this meant to Georgia. A one-goal win, Georgia over Halifax. Interviews coming up next on ESPN Plus and Peachtree TV.
What is belief? Nathan McKinnon? At 14, he wasn't wishing he'd make it to the NHL. He believed that he would. So while other kids were playing video games, he was putting in the work to make his dream come true. Guaranteed Rate believes in your dreams. That's why we treat everyone like we treat our own family and work extra hard to get you the lowest low rate possible. Because if you believe, you will.
Let's show the world what it means to be a fan. The world's largest collection of fan gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
There's no better feeling than a win, except a BetMGM win. Goodbye. Woo! That one hurt good. You feel that? Yeah! Now you're winning with the king of sportsbooks. Come on.
Back in Gas South Arena, Sting City, 1-goal Georgia win. Tabitha Turner-Wilkins is down on the floor with Mike Poulin.
Thanks, guys. Well, Mike, big-time East Division win. And with this win, you are now 4th all-time in NLL history in the goalies list. How are you feeling right now? How'd you guys do this and pull this one out as a unit?
We needed that. I think defensively we didn't have the start we'd want. We gave up 4 early, and we battled after that, and that showed a lot of character. Coming down the stretch for a playoff team, potential playoff team, you need to have those games where you can hold a good team to a low number and gut out a win, and I thought our team did that tonight.
First back-to-back wins for the Swarm for the season. You guys had a few young players on this team. Does it feel like you're at a point where you found some rhythm with this young squad?
Yeah, everything's been getting better. Our practices, our shoot-arounds, our games, I feel like, we've had some hiccups along the way, but we're continuing to improve with the small things, and that's what you want to do. You want to get hot at the right time of year. It's not all about who's the best team at the beginning. In order to go on a run, you got to get hot at the right time.
Now, it's been a minute since we've done this, Mike. It's been a couple years, so I'm going to make a fool of myself, but only if you do it with me, okay? You ready? All right, guys. You've got nothing. We've got Mike Poulin. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. Great game tonight. Guys.
Oh, baby, I cannot believe she got him to do that. Well, that just tells you how special of a night it has been. By the way, Buffalo leads Philadelphia 11-3 right now up in Buffalo, which means Philadelphia is on the verge of a loss, and Georgia should be hopping above them in the standings. Once again, the final score is 10-9 from Metro Atlanta. For Scott Ratliff and Tabitha Turner-Wilkins, I'm Chris Mooneyham. You've been watching the National Lacrosse League on ESPN Plus and Peachtree TV.